Hello, and welcome back to Vermont Scale Customs. Thanks for stopping by. This has got to be like at least probably the 6th or 7th attempt. I'm having a heck of a time with voiceover creation. Apparently with Sequoia, when that came out, it didn't come with the driver set for the M Audio M2 2X2M, which is an interface that I use because it's got a what do I say, the 48 volts for a condenser microphone that I use. Anyway, hopefully this all works out and it sounds okay. And it, like I said, this is probably like the 7th or 8th time I've made this attempt. So, anyway, I broke a truck off the shelf that I have now had since November of 2021. I bought this used on Facebook Marketplace. The guy was asking originally $1,200 for it. By the time I got in touch with him, he was looking for $550 shipped to your door. So less than half of his original asking price. And I guess what it was is that he bought this and went all in with like the CC hand metal bed on it and stuff like that. A bunch of metal add-ons and a few extras here and there. And he had a couple kids and couldn't finish it. Just didn't want to leave it sitting around, so he wanted to pass it on to somebody. So I got a hold of it, and within about 3 weeks or so, I had done a bunch of videos with it. I was loving the thing. And within about 3 or 4 weeks, I burned up the front differential driving in snow. Total foolish mistake, just kind of over driving it, kind of abusing it in ways. Definitely overconfident and just got stuck. And, next thing I know, I'm here and grinding gears. Well, when the guy built it, he built it, I think, with either blue Loctite or just used an excessive amount of blue or used red. Because I could not get the front drive shaft pin out, and so the front drive shaft, the front differential, was unable to be fixed. And I had already bought like the Helical Gears a long time ago, and just basically discovered that it was never going to come apart. So it took until recently when I finally got my hands on, thanks to my dad because he left it behind. He left one of those tiny little propane torches. It was one of those things that I've got a ton of tools. I just don't have one of those little handheld type of torches. Those little like almost lighter things, but little propane thing. Anyway, 20-30 seconds of heat, and very deliberately, carefully trying to back that pin out of the front diff, and I was successful in getting that freed up. So I took some time to get those diff gears installed. I just did a video recently on that. And then decided to take this thing out and obviously do a little test drive in it. So it's doing incredibly well. I'll kind of give you a little bit of lowdown. Obviously, it's an RC4WD TF2 long wheelbase with a Killerbody LC70 sitting on top. Currently running 2S in this video, and that's on an Axial 55 turn 540. I believe that's a 40 amp ESC. I don't think it's a 60 in there, but it's an Axial ESC as well. Fly Sky radio, that's one of my setups that I've had that I threw in there. Bilstein shocks all the way around, 10W30 in each one of those, nothing special. Those are just branded emus in the back from RC4 Drive. Metal bumper, metal guards, metal rock sliders. He added a couple of other things. This, of course, has a whole Killerbody mount setup inside for the front and as well as the back. Teraflex Z-Boxes and Shackles on that rear set of leaf springs. I'm probably going to do the reverse shackle mount on the front of this thing. I am kind of always disappointed in what the Z-Box and shackle mod does in the back. It moves the rear axle towards the rear bumper a few millimeters, and it kind of bums me out that it does that. It adds a ton of travel, but what it does for the placement of the rear axle leaves a lot to be desired. And I've tried to find ways around it, and I'm not sure of any. If you're one of those people that is smarter than I am about that, let me know in the comments what the suggestion is for getting that recentered underneath that rear wheel well. That always kind of bugs me a little bit. My TF2 is that way too, my regular short wheelbase, my Mojave. What else? This came with some... what were they? The RC4 Drive Dick C-Pecs on there. You'll see this in the original video with the metal bed if you happen to click back and see some of the originals on here. I thought those were a little narrow, so I eventually set this up with some 06 KLRs. Those are the comp widths, not the trail width. And then, believe it or not, those are some old Redcat wheels from like a Gen 7 that I painted the rings black on them. Those have since been swapped out I had this originally came with a set of Boom Racing Badass beadlocks. That's the actual name, Badass beadlock. And so those are actual scale accurate with 5 lug, and so those are back on here. And those are actually lead wrapped around the inner ring too. They've got some pretty thick lead tape on them from the original owner of those wheels, and so it's pretty psyched. Those things are heavy as heck. And so it drives a lot differently with those on there. It's much more planted. What else? The light system is in. It also came with the Killerbody light setup, which means that headlights, bumper lights, and everything in the taillights all function. And then as you see on the side here, that's got marker lights that are kind of hidden behind that guard. And when I painted this from white to tan like a fool, I went right over those lights. I did not try to do anything with popping those out or anything like that, because they were glued in and I didn't mask them. So I very carefully got those extracted and managed to find the light buckets for the LEDs still in the box. So I got that all installed. That's all set, and they've got those populated with LEDs as well. So with the Killerbody lighting controller, you can set up the signal. You can set up the turn signal lights to either operate as turn signals, left-right turn signals, or you can switch those to the other side of that controller and have them run full time. So they are on currently as full-time running lights on all 4 corners, as well as the side lights. I still have reverse lights as well as brake lights, and also the headlight intensity increase whenever you're driving forward. So a set of lights in the bumper kick up when you do that, as well as the main headlights. And so lights are done, lights are in. I did a bunch of extra work on that. I should probably focus a little bit more on a video on how all that stuff was done. So the future of this truck, what do I plan on doing? Obviously, if you know the Killerbody stuff, you know that you can buy a ton of off-the-shelf interior kit stuff, stuff for up under the hood. The doors of this can be made to open. The hood can be made to open. I do plan on doing the whole interior setup, which means that eventually I'll probably make the doors open. And that means also too that the windows, believe it or not, roll up and down, so you can have that added scale detail. There are door latches and stuff like that that can be added into. No external function on those. There's just a tiny little catch, kind of like FMS does with some of their doors, I believe. A little spring-loaded thing. A nice little detail on that. What else? Oh, since this video, I also have installed a Hobby Wing Quick Run 540 to SE brushless combo. And so the Axial ESC and the Axial 55 turn are no longer in this. I do plan on upgrading, I think, to a brushless servo at some point in time. It's going to be a heavy truck by the time it's all done, so I think it's going to need that extra horsepower up front to get those wheels moving back and forth. Winch, maybe some lights for the bumper, some additional fog lights or something like that. I'm thinking about grills for the headlights. A couple of other things. I don't know if I'm going to go totally hog wild in the back with a rack or anything, building this up for overlanding. I kind of want it to be a ute sort of truck, kind of like almost a daily driver that's capable. So like maybe, jack, some ropes, tow straps, some recovery stuff, things like that, the basics. But, this is, like I said, it's a daily driver. It's not somebody's like they're going to live in this thing for months at a time out in the Australian outback. I don't know. I have the bed if I do try to, take it that point. But since I just did the lights in the back, I did some modifications to get those in. Once you're kind of committed to that bed, it's a little kind of a challenge to kind of pull back from this point and put the metal bed on and go that route. So I'm going to stick with this option for the time being. So I kind of like it this way. What else? I'm just super happy to have this thing back up and running. This was, when I got it, I didn't even know these Toyotas existed. I've been a Toyota driver since like the late 80s, early 90s. And I've probably had at least 4 or 5 different Toyota trucks now at this point. Didn't even know that this version of the Land Cruiser was a thing. So once I started doing some homework, I totally fell in love with it. And so right now this thing is just kind of sitting tops on my list in my collection. So I'm going to focus a bunch of attention to it and make it as best I can, and post some videos about it all along the way. So stay tuned. Hope you stuck around. If not, sorry we didn't get to say bye before you headed out, but if you're still here, thank you very much. And stay tuned for some more stuff. Check out that old license plate, Marks RC. That's from the way back right there. You didn't even probably know that this channel used to be called that. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.